Right, so that's the bicycle there. Pretty happy with it now. ENGWE, I think it's Ingwe. You can get different colors. I got green. Um, you can look. I'll leave a description of their website and I'll show you about three or four different colors. You can see the disc brakes here, mechanical brakes, I think they call them. I guess mixed up with mechanical and disc, but these are the cheaper ones. But no, they're perfect. They're fine. Not cheap mean bad, but they just to cut the price because the bike is £1,000. It would be 1,200 if they had to put it on more expensive brake system, but it's fine. There's seven Somali gears on it, and it has a chain that's, I think it's sprayed with a coating of silver. There's the seven gears. There's a website there, www.cnata.com. I never looked it up yet, but I'm only after getting a bike a week ago, so I'm doing a quick introduction, really, not much, to just show you the basics of what I got for my money, really. That's the battery there. One thing I was disappointed about is the battery cost about 300 or 400 pounds, but the good thing about the battery is if you look after it the last 3 years. And what I mean by looking after it now is that you have to charge it fully, let it run down to maybe 1 bar. I think there's 7 bars or 5 bars on the battery. It's on your display. When it runs down to about 10% left or 5% battery left, then charge it up. Some people say charge it 80% up. But if I'm going a long journey, I'll charge it fully just to make sure I get the distance. Now, I traveled 30 miles with the bike with full charge, and I got the distance. It did do, the website says it does about 86 miles or something range with one charge of the battery, but I only got 30 miles out of it. But they always set the bar high when they're trying to sell a product, if you know what I mean. But maybe on a straight road you get more, but with hills and all that, and the weight of the person, everything, and the wind. So there's 7 gears on the Somali gears. I didn't look up that website, what Somali, I think I'm spelling that right. I think I'm interpreting or saying it right. Somali gears, Somalio gears, seven speeds anyway, 7 gears, which is all you need. Some people say, oh, I wish I had a harder gear for a main road and down hills, but I think it's perfect for anyone that wants to go 25 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour. See, it's locked by legal standards. You can only go 15 miles an hour without tax and insurance. See, it's a legal bike, but you can unlock it and it'll go 25 miles an hour, which I did, but I'll only go 15 miles an hour in the town. But when I get to the main road, I'll go, the 25 mile. I cycle and get about 30 miles an hour with pedal assist. So this is the display. You turn it on. I haven't turned it on now, but I'm just doing an introduction video. But it'll show you your battery, the speed you're going, the distance you travelled, and a few other things. All I'm interested in is the battery and the speed I'm going. These are the tyres, and I haven't them fully worn in yet. As you can see, there's little strands of rubber there. But the tyres are massive, like. I mean, they're you'll see when the bike is zoomed out. I love big thick tyres because that means they'll last a long time, I suppose. And really soft on the road. Okay, there's front fork suspension. Okay, there's a light there and a reflector. It's a LED light, and there's front suspension there. So with the front suspension and the big tyres, you don't even feel the road, There's no back suspension, but I don't think it's needed. Some people say it should be there, but like for £1,000, you're getting a good deal because it's a solid bike. It's fairly heavy now, but it's solid. And that's the back light. I haven't it turned on at the moment, but there's no need because you can look. Like I said, I can leave the description in the website in the description, so you can look up all these things yourself. But I'm just giving you a quick overview. As you can see, it's solid, and I have it turned off now. But when you turn it on, the key locks into it, so you won't lose the key. I thought that was great. The key is in it all the time. You just when I turn on the bike, the key won't fall out. And then when I turn it off, I can take the key out. And then if I turn it anti-clockwise, I can take out the battery. But I don't bother. I charge it in the bike, bring the bike in. And of course, you can adjust the brake system there to give you all the tools with it, The Allen keys, screwdriver, spanners. And you can adjust the gear system yourself and all the other things that go with it. I had to loosen the brake system because when I touch the brakes, it used to be too powerful. The brakes are really good. So yeah, I put a cover on the saddle. You don't need to. The saddle is fairly comfortable anyway, but I just put a cover on it, you know. Because I had one, you know, a second-hand one. I just threw it on. I look for second-hand stuff, you know what I mean. If I can find, I found 2 old baskets. Well, I bought one and a woman gave me another one, and with cable ties, you know, they're really, see the basket on the front? There's 2 carriers on this bike. They call it a cargo bike because there's 2 carriers. And I bought a lock. You can see it below the handlebars there. It's wrapped around, and I have a little holder for it. But I put on the baskets with cable ties, you see. So it's handy for carrying stuff around. That's why they call it a cargo bike, you know. So that's what I wanted for it, to carry stuff around. So I go for a spin from Kesh to Muckross, which is about 2 or 3 miles. I don't know exactly. So I'm going about, I don't know, 15 mile an hour into town. But I'll open it up to 25 mile an hour when I pass the town. Now I'm going to go up a very steep hill here now in a minute. I'm going to turn left, second left actually. You pass off that left there. They just repaired that bridge on the left there recently. It collapsed, would you believe? And I took a left here, and there's it mightn't look steep on the video, but this is a fairly steep hill. So what I done was, there's pedal assist, there's 0 to 5, I put it up to 5, which is the best help you can get, and I dropped the gears down to the lowest. Some people call that the high gear, I call it the low gear. I don't know which way around it goes, but this is a steep hill. So what I'm using is pedal assist, I'm using the battery, you know, powered, and I'm cycling as hard as I can. And I'm going up this hill about 30 mile an hour, which is fantastic, because if you've seen this hill, it's pretty steep now. I wouldn't make it up that hill in 5th gear without the battery turned on. You can also turn the battery off, and if you want some exercise and sweat it out, you can cycle without the battery. You can turn the battery off and just cycle it like a normal bike. But I wouldn't advise it because the bike's fairly heavy. But that's a good thing, it's heavy because it's strong. Really solid bike now, I must admit. Really solid. It looks very bumpy on the video, but it's not that bad. It's just the camera's connected to the front basket. I'm using a cable tie, and I have a better thing now for the camera, but it looks more bumpier than what it is because where the camera's positioned. But there's not too much I can do about it because I don't really want to put the camera at the back. It'd be no use. So the camera's at the front. It has to be, really, you know. So we're going down a nice big hill here, which I didn't sweat it out. I'll be honest with you. I went 30 miles and I didn't have any sweat. But this is a short journey. But last week I went on a long journey, 30 miles, and they say the battery will last 68 miles, I think, in range, you know, on one full charge. But I only got 30. But people say that's normal. The way they get their statistics is they test the battery on a flat, straight road with no hills and no wind resistance, and they just test it. I think that's where they get their statistics of 60 miles, but I say 30 miles. You're safe on a full charge to go 30 miles. So I went 15 miles to a place called Enniskillen. Most people know it for some good reasons and some bad reasons. But I went to Enniskillen and it was 15 miles there and 15 miles back, so that's 30. So it did it on one full charge, you know. So no problem. I have confidence that a battery that's fully charged will do 30 miles. Now, if you're going around the town and you're only going a couple of miles a day shopping or whatever, you don't have to keep charging your battery. It's bad for the battery to keep charging it. Just charge your battery when it gets very low, you know. But if you're going on a long journey, you'll have to charge it fully or you won't get back. So that's what I do. If I know I'm going on a long journey the night before, I'll charge it fully. When you plug in the charger, there's a red light on the charger. And then, well, on this make and model anyway. And then when it's fully charged, the light turns green. So that can't be more simpler than that. So it did take me about 7 hours, first charge. You know, when you first buy it, it took a while because it's a new battery, you know. But about 6-7 hours maybe. But they say don't exceed it to 10. It could be dangerous. I think it turns off itself anyway, but I wouldn't leave it plugged in for 10 hours just in case, you know. But I'd rather be around the house when it's charging because, you know, I've heard of some batteries exploding, but it's a rare occasion now. It doesn't happen that often, but it can happen. So at least if you're in the house, you can kind of like take the battery and fire it out the back or something because you don't want to set fire to the house, you know what I mean? So if you're in the house, you have a better chance of doing something about it, in other words. But this is just a quick spin around Muckross Bay, it's called. But of course I haven't time to do a longer video now because I had things to do today. But in future I hope to make a few videos, and I'll give you more information about the bike as I go along. And they encourage people, ENGWE, I think it's called, Engwe is the make of the bike. Like I said, I'll leave their website in the description. Now, when I first seen the website, I said, I better be careful, this is not a scam. And I done a lot of research, and it wasn't a scam, because I ordered a bike on a Friday, I think it was. So there's no delivery on a Saturday and Sunday. And so it's 5 working days. Yeah, about 5 working days. I got it the following week. About 5 working days. Wasn't bad. A fella pulled up in the lorry and gave it to me. I thought he would get me to sign a bit of paper, but he didn't. But that was fine. I just got the bike. All I had to do was put on the front wheel. The back wheel is already on, you know. The motor is in the back wheel. So there's not much you have to do. I'm straightening the camera here because it fell down. But I fixed that problem, you know. It was just my first try with a camera, you know. So I'll get better as I go along. But yeah, it came in a box, and all I had to do was, you know, take all the packaging off, cut all the cable ties, of course follow the instructions, but put on the front wheel, put on the handlebars. Everything else was done. There's not much work in it, honestly. It's just the front wheel and the handlebars, really, as far as I know. Like the back wheel and everything else, even the brakes and the gears and all that are on the handlebars. See, the reason they took the handlebars off is so they'll fit it in the box and it's easier, you know, in transit, you know. So I'm going down the hill I'm going back to where I came from, you know, 3 miles away. So overall, I'm so happy with the bike. You know, it really does hold a charge for 30 miles. That's all I'm concerned about. If it was 10 miles, I'd be disappointed because you couldn't go too far. But 30 miles is pretty good now, you know. You can, like, say somebody was on holidays and it was 30 miles to a B&B. You could stay in that B&B overnight. You could charge the battery and then you could make it back. You know, you got to use your head. Some people have 2 batteries or 3 batteries, and they put them in a bag, a carrier bag, and put them in the basket, like, you know, and bring them with them. But I couldn't do that because they're too expensive. They're about £300 or £400 a battery. Unless the batteries go down in price, I won't be buying any batteries. But the good news is, if you look after a battery, it'll last 3 years. So I think that's you're getting good value for money, because you do a lot of traveling with that battery, you know. But one thing I must stress though, if you don't use your bike for a month, charge the battery. You always have to charge the battery or it'll rot. So at least once a month, give the battery a good charge. You don't have to fully charge it, but 80%. That's what I was trying to read all I could about it, you know, and I'm still learning, you know. So that's all I'm gonna, you're gonna have to learn along with me and other people, you know, because this is a new phenomenon, you know. It's like everybody's going electric bike. And, you know, people can't afford tax and insurance and petrol. And I know electricity is expensive too, but I think it's a cheaper option because you're not paying for parking, tax, insurance. It's actually a legal bike. It's legally allowed to go 15 miles an hour pedal assist. But it can be unlocked, if you know what I mean. You go into the settings and unlock it. There's videos about that on their website. So that's what you can do. And you go 25 miles an hour. That's not kilometers now, that's miles per hour. So you can set it to that. That's what I did. But I go 15 miles an hour in the town, which is legal. And then when I get onto the main road, I go 25. So overall, I'm so happy with it. I'll let you know as I go along. I'll drive to a different place next time. Well, that was Muckross now in County Fermanagh, Muckross Bay. So if you're ever in County Fermanagh, it's worth looking at. Okay, God bless. I'll leave it at that. I'm heading for home.